permissions as well. Please let us know if you have any challenge doing that. So once you can access configurations, you go to there's configurations tabs, you go to AutoAssign, and here you are in AutoAssign. You can see very well in AutoAssign we have teams and we have routing criteria. Like I mentioned earlier, you will need to set up a routing criteria to set up your AutoAssign team in most cases. So I'll go straight ahead to show how it's done, setting up the routing criteria. Great. So here we are in routing criteria. So today, in AutoAssign version 1 that we have various routing criteria, right? These routing criteria determine the kind of teams that you are setting up, right? And based on the problem you're trying to solve with this team. For example, do you want specialized team to handle inquiries around sales, inquiries around marketing of products, right? Or you want specialized team to handle, for example, card refunds, debit issues, right? Dispense errors, right? So that's issue type routing criteria. So today we have department routing criteria, issue type routing criteria. Here's branches. I will explain shortly. And we have others that are not here because they do not require setup, like channels and user type as well. I just mentioned initially departments. Routing criteria may help you to set up team to handle inquiries that has to reach specific departments, right? For example, I'm in a product team in eBanqo. If you want to access our board today and you want to go straight to speak to someone who is on the product team, then AutoAssign with the routing criteria with the department must have been set up to access that way. However, a business might want to set up routing criteria based on issue type. Business, for example, they have issues like payment issues, debit issues, card loss issues. So those are likely issue types. Dispense error, like I mentioned earlier, or fraud issue type. So those are the reasons or the basis for which you might want to create an issue type. The next listed here is branches, right? So I'll explain shortly what branches is. So we have today some of our clients that integrated GBM, Google Business Messaging with us. And Google Business Messaging helps you to have Google messaging for different locations. So they have Google has locations, right? So with the locations, your customers can chat specifically to agents that are on that location. So branches AutoAssign routing helps you to do that for those of us that have Google Business Messaging set up with us, just like WhatsApp. If this is your first time hearing about our Google Business Messaging channel, you could reach out to us as well. There's a siting, we could help you integrate that channel as well. Others are WhatsApp, social media channels like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter, Instagram, and the like. How that works is very straightforward. If you want specialized team to handle your customer inquiry that comes from WhatsApp, or you want specialized team to handle inquiry that comes from Instagram and the like. So setting up a routing criteria for branches, for channels help you do that. You do not have to set that up. The only criteria for that is that you have installed this particular channel with us prior to that time. But in case you don't have any of the channels I mentioned, maybe Instagram, maybe Twitter, feel free to reach out to us. We have a very short implementation processes for that now, and you can go live on Instagram and Twitter in a very short time. So for the use case here, we will setting up the routing criteria using the past. You can see my list here. I have just two set up. You can see marketing and sales already set up as a routing criteria. Let's say we want to add another routing criteria, name, for example, let's call it IT departments, right? So I say IT. Okay, and you can give a description. If we describe, let's just say description. The IT department. Okay, and straightforward, you click voila, you've created. You could add one more. So you could have, let's say, engineering. right? Engineering, right? Engineering department. And then engineering department. Still a routing criteria. Okay, so we have various routing criteria that we can use to set up our team. When my colleagues are speaking on teams, get to understand that clearly. Remember, I just showed the use case using departments. But for the use case of your business, you might want to set up based on specific issues, right? Perhaps you have most issues of around debits, around payments or card loss. You could set up based on the issues or set up based on the department. Okay, so that is very important to note. We'll take your question and at the end of this. We are sure that we'll go through the full circle. You have a better clarity, but feel free to ask your question. Yeah, so I'll be handing over to engineer at this point. Thank you. Hi.
Hello, Ralph. Thank you very much for the detailed walkthrough for the routing criteria. As Ralph mentioned already, and I mentioned earlier, if you have questions that you need to ask or some clarifications, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will attend to them as well. So now I'll be handing over to Foluke. Foluke is our product manager, and she will be taking us through creating teams for the routing criteria. Foluke, where's yours? You can go. Foluke, I'm not sure. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so I'll be sharing my screen right now. So you should see my screen now. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right. So thank you everyone once again for joining. So shortly, I'll just be running us through how you can create your teams to address specific requests for your organization. Like we all know, AutoAssign is actually creating specific and specialized teams to address specialized issues so that you can better serve your customers very well and in a timely manner. So Ralph has spent a ample of time explaining how we can set up our routing criteria. So having done that, the next thing you go ahead to do is to create your actual team on our platform, the actual team that will be responsible for specific requests, and depending on the kind of structure you have in your organization. So Ralph has mentioned something around creating routing criteria for departments, right? So I'll be building up on that and I'll be creating teams for specific departments. So what you do is that you come to this team menu here. So when you click on it, this is what you're going to be seeing, right? So if your AutoAssign is not enabled yet, using this toggle button, so you enable it, but from what you can see now, it's already enabled. So what you now do next is you come to create a new team button, so you click on it. So immediately you click on it, this form comes to your face, right? So and you just have to go to fill in the fields on the form straight up. So the first field items we have is team name. So what is the name of the team? So Ralph has created some routing criteria as regard marketing department. So I will say marketing department. So that means I want to create the marketing department team on eBanqo Messenger. So I'm going to write marketing team here, or let me say marketing department, for instance. Then what is the description like? So okay, you can say to handle requests related to marketing. Then what is the email address of this team? So I'll just be using an example to fill this. Let me say marketing@ebanqo.com. I'm sure you have different email address for different teams in your organization. So what is our routing criteria here? So like I mentioned earlier, we are routing based on the department, right? And what is the department? Is marketing department, right? That's the marketing department routing criteria that Ralph has set up earlier on, right? Then I moved to the last field, which is a support agent. And in this field, I'm going to be selecting the agent that I want to add to this team on eBanqo messengers. You know, all your agents are already users on eBanqo Messenger. So what's going to happen is that all these agents are going to come up. Then you select those ones that should be in this team. So for the purpose of this test, I'm going to be adding Alice Smith as an agent to be in marketing department. Then I'm going to add Fuluke Adebi as an agent to be in marketing department. Then I'm going to add Ralph as an agent to be in marketing department. So immediately you add those 3 items. So you can actually uncheck again to remove. See, as I clicked on Ralph again, Ralph has disappeared. So I'm clicking him again to add him back. And immediately I'm done with that, I click on create new team. So you can see the message, the team marketing department has been created successfully. And this is the line here, marketing department team created. You can see the agents that are in the team. Then for this 3 dots here, you can click on it to actually edit the team. Maybe you made a mistake, you want to adjust something, you want to add a new member of your maybe another agent on your organization to this team. You can actually come here and update, add another person you want to add, and remove whoever you want to remove to the team, and save changes. So that is the way it works. So I'll just go ahead again. So we have the sales team set up. We have the marketing department set up. So I'm going to go ahead and add another new team to the group of teams that we have. So I'm just going to add the IT department, because Ralph created a routing criteria that has IT department. So I'm just going to go ahead and create the team for that. So just like I did the first one, click on create new team, then this form comes up, you fill out the form. So IT department. So I'm just going to say description to handle all IT related issues. Then email address it@ebanqo.com. Then assign based on what? I'm still assigning based on department, right? Then what's the department's name? IT department. It comes up like that. Then who are the agents that I want to have in this department? So let me say I want to add Charles Ademola, I want to add Ejine Collins, and I want to add Ralph, for example, to that team, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select those 3 agents. Then I can cross-check if they are correct. If they are not correct, I can remove them and add whoever I want to add again, right? So I'm going to add back Ralph for the purpose of this presentation. And when I'm done, I click on create new team, and the team IT department is successfully created. So this is the line for IT department. You can see that the team has been created and it has been enabled to be used, right? So you have to, if this button is not checked, you have to come back and check it. So you can see that it's unchecked now, so you can come back and check it, right? So that you can enable it to impact whatever setup you are doing. So that is basically how creation of team works on AutoAssign. So at this point, I would like to hand over back to Ejine so that we can make progress. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Fuluke, for that well-detailed presentation. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have questions or any clarification, just drop your comments or question in the chat. We already have one from Inena. So this is directed at Ralph. Ralph, and then I want you to please redefine what a routing criteria is, because she's trying to apply this to the business, and it's a bit unclear to her. So you can just take her. Sorry, you can just take her through the routing criteria and just give her a brief explanation.
All right, thanks, Virginia. I'll be explaining, but I'm not sure you mentioned that I should show them again. Well, I hope an explanation will suffice. Okay, so explain. Why we have routing criteria for various teams. AutoAssign works based on routing, or that's why it's called AutoAssign. Right. For various customers who would come to engage in our various channels, we believe, right, they are coming for a specific reason. Some of these customers coming to your channel are coming because of an error that maybe they have to do with payment, for example. It might be they have a specific question to ask, and this question is deliberate for sales team or for a marketing team or for your business team, right? So in sometimes you I've seen situations whereby customer join your queue, you attempt to attend to that customer, but you discover that you are not the right person to attend to that customer. Maybe you have a knowledge gap to that particular challenge, or it's supposed to be handled by a different team. Then you say, I will assign you to somebody else. Or then you say, oh, I will get back to you, right? So we have gone ahead to help the customer intuitively decide what team they want to speak to, or to help us route the customer to the right agent in your business. The bot request, what are the likely issues that you want to inquire about. Now, if you as a business have gone ahead because of routine usage and learning over time to set up your team based on various routing criteria, right? The bot will now help ask the question based on this routing criteria that you set and the team, right? So if the bot is asking, oh, you want to speak to a support, but please let us know what issue you would like to resolve here. Now, the bot is speaking issues because you have set up teams that have to do with routing criteria of issue type. So the bot will say, what issue are you trying to resolve? And we display a list, right, of the departments you have created based on these issue types. So let's say you created dispense error, payment issue, fraud, right, credit issues. You get the point. So those will be listed to your customers. When they select, the bot gets to route them to the right personnel, the team that have been added to the team that you created based on these routing criteria. So you set up the routing criteria in most cases first, like if you're doing routing criteria for department and issue type. You set it up first before you create the team, right? But if you are setting up a team based on channels, for example, I think there's a business that reaches out to us that they want specialized team to handle their customers from WhatsApp alone, a specialized team to handle their customers from Instagram alone. That you don't need to set up a routing criteria for that. You just create a team and then specify that this team will handle customers from WhatsApp, and you are good to go. But if it's team that's to handle department-related issues or core issue types like challenges and issue your customer complain about, we advise or propose that you use issue type routing criteria. But if it's just a general case like department-wise, sales, marketing, IT related, you could just create your team and routing criteria based on department, right? So this is what will influence what type of routing criteria you created. Hi, Norma. I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Wow, thank you very much. I think that that was a very well detailed explanation for Nena. But so we have chance for one more question before we move on to the next one, of which Nena also has follow-up questions for you, Ralph. She asked if this is a live function, and will the agent that picked first need to log out first? So what she's trying to say that, is it live? And if an agent is currently talking to the wrong customer, would he have to log off first so that the right department or team will continue the conversation. And also, just to follow up, sorry, I'm trying to, and also just to follow up, she's asking, will the agent be able to route to the right team by themselves? Does that happen where if it's a wrong team that picks it, would they be able to route to the right team by themselves? Do you get the questions, Ralph?
Yes, I did get your question, Jim. Thank you very much for the
Okay.
question. When you said, is it a live function? I want to understand if it is a feature that is already live, right? I hope that's the meaning of your question. So it's live, actually, it's live. And we did send out a communicate to communicate that it's live about that. But however, it's admin. I mean, your users or staff with admin function. I mean, users of our platform with admin permissions that could set up AutoAssign so that your team can attend to customers based on specialized inquiries. So that speaks to if it's live or not. Your next question is, what happens today when an agent discovers that I'm speaking to a customer that I'm not sure I can handle this inquiry? It should have been someone else, right? Assuming that you did not set up a very good, properly sufficient AutoAssign, or assuming you've not set up your AutoAssign and this happened. So today, if you at some point discover that you are attending to a customer that you would have preferred someone else attend to, we are working on something called escalations, and very soon, but we don't have a specific timeline for that as that when that will go live. But it's part of what we have in our pipeline, where you can escalate an existing active chat to another team or to another agent. So that's like more like an escalation, right? Most of us in CS, we understand the term escalation, right? So yeah, we don't have what it seems like what you are saying, escalation at the moment. However, what we have is a situation whereby you see this customer on the queue. You could click on the customer to see the customer, the message intro, right? In the message intro, it tells you what the customer said. So when your bot is joining, when your customer is joining the bot, it says, what's the description of this inquiry? And the customer facing the description. So you could have an idea what the customer is coming to do, and you could assign the customer to another agent. That is before you start an active chat with that customer. Once you start an active chat with the customer, today we don't have ability to escalate, right? We hope to get that sometime this year. But what we have is AutoAssign, whereby you can intuitively set up your teams, hopefully and perfectly, such that your customer gets to be attended to the right person. By that, they jump this rigorous long step in most cases, in that case. But of course, we will get to let me say the next phase of this. Of course, the next phase of the next release of this, whereby you can still escalate even when you still feel that, despite everything, you wish someone else still attended to this customer. Yeah, we'll get to that. That will be the next release of what we have done so far. Yeah, I hope that answered every question that you asked. Did I leave anything out?
Yes, thank you very much for that, Ralph, for that extensive explanation. Covers it. We have a couple more questions, but due to time that due to restricted timeline, we will move on to what's next, to the next part, of which the questions that we have, we will continue with them after up towards the end of the webinar. So your questions will still be answered. Everybody that has dropped a question in the chat room. Ralph, you will, I think you're next. You have to take us through customer interface on how the customers and agents use the AutoAssign.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, thank you. Awesome. All right, so I'll be taking you through the interface. This aspect of this walkthrough webinar shows you how your customer gets to interact with the AutoAssign setup that you have done for your various teams, right? Basically, the customer experience is what I will walk you through. So quickly, I'll be sharing this. Okay, yeah, so I'll show you the customer experience and sorry, and I will show you how your agent gets to attend to this customer when they get routed to the right team based on your settings. Now today, here is an example business. It's called eBanqo. I hope you can see my screen. And what you can see here is my WhatsApp and it's eBanqo.
Yes, Ralph, we can see your screen. It's clear
Awesome.
and it's
Thank
WhatsApp version.
All right, great. So here's a customer. It comes to eBanqo business, for example, use case, and your customer says, hello, today. Yeah, here's eBanqo. So I'm eBanqo. I can help you answer questions and the likes. You can enroll or speak with support. You can see the quick reply menu. And the customer say, I want to go straight to the point. I want to speak with your support. And he clicks on support. Then the bot say, all right, so I'll be transferring you to a customer agent. Should I go ahead with that? And your customer says, yes, oh, great. Awesome. Nice. Having said yes, I want to speak to your customer agent. Now the board displays the various options. Please select the department that you would like me to transfer you to. Now, for some of us who are very conversant with our board prior to now, you know that after the board have requested to transfer, the next thing is the board displays your number this on the queue. But having set up AutoAssign, like we saw us do, right? You saw my colleague Foluke setting up sales department, marketing department, IT department. Now your bot is giving the customer an opportunity to intuitively decide what team you would like to speak to, right? So this depends on how unique your business is, right? Like I mentioned before, it could be department, it could be issue type. For the purpose of this webinar walkthrough, we use department as an example. For another business, you can be using issue type, okay? So now here's the customer. Here we are, display the list of, you want to speak with sales team, you want to speak with marketing team, or do you want to speak with IT team? The customer says, I want to speak with sales team, okay? All right, and clicks on sales. Great. So the bot says, all right, so you're number 2 in the queue, it will be your turn shortly. Many of us are very conversant with this. So we want to move from here. This is the customer experience. Here, the customer has been routed to your agent, to the right team, sales team, and to the right person in sales team, not just in sales team, but the right one of the agents in the sales team as well. So we want to go and see how your customer gets to pick up, your agent rather, your customer service agent gets to pick up this customer from the queue. So we'll move from this view, from this customer view right now to eBanqo Messenger, where I will show you your customer service view. Okay, so thank you for this. We move straight to that. Here we are in eBanqo. Let me just go straight to our home. We're conversant with our home, right? And conversations module, where most of our customer service agents use often. All right, go. And here we go. All right. Great. So today you know about support queue, user message, and failed response. All right. Now I go to my queue. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to show us something. Please let me confirm that I am part of the sales team. Remember, I was routed to the sales team, right? So I just want to quickly confirm that I am part of this sales team. Okay, great. So you can see this just A, this Ralph, and you're part of the sales team. Okay, good. So I go to my queue, back to my queue, and here are those on my queue. I have Raf, that's me. I chatted on WhatsApp. I joined 2 minutes ago, right? And turning to this customer. Okay. And we're already familiar to this place. But however, I would mention that I noticed something. I think my colleague Ademola was also online, and because I already have somebody on my queue, and I'm sure Ademola queue was less busy, this customer was actually assigned to Ademola. Hi Ademola, are you on this call? So I don't know if you're seeing the screen, we're assigned to Ademola, right? But however, because we don't want the customer stranded, he's still on my queue. In case Ademola is taking time to attend to this customer, I can still pick up this customer as well, right? So if it has not been routed to Ademola, you would have seen an extra section here, a new queue called assign queue. So prior to that, you just have active chat, queue, assign queue. So if Ademola is sharing the screen, he will see assign queue and this wrap on his queue. But we don't want to keep the customer stranded. We don't know how busy Ademola is. So I can also pick up this customer as well. So that's what is happening in this case today. All right, so we're already used to here, and you pick up the customer and you are good to go. And you could then the charts when you are seeing it. Okay. I would like to try out another scenario. Hopefully, let me see one of the teams that's okay. IT team. Okay. This permits me to remove Ademola, so I'm sure that I'm getting the rough queue. I want to show something. It's rough queue, and I say thank you. Okay. Back. All right, so I've ended that chat and I want to join again. Okay, our usual rating, 5. That was a wonderful chat. So one more time, I want to join again, and this time around, I'll be joining the IT department. Okay, so I go to support, so I can show clearly what I was trying to say. Yeah, all right, yes, the transparent, yes. Okay, so the same process, the same question, but now I want to speak with the IT department. Great, I could hear the sound already. You are number 2 on the queue. Okay, so I go back to platform. Great, so this is what I wanted to show. Now, if you can see, stay in conversations, yeah, you could see active chats. Some of us are already used to active chat. You see queue, right? And you could see assign users, right? For some of us who have not enabled AutoAssign in your business, you might not have been used to this, right? Now, I am seeing assign users because I belong to this team called IT department. And obviously, perhaps I'm the only one online at that moment. I'm the one having the lesser people on my queue. This customer was directly routed to me, right? Based on department and writing criteria. Yeah, so I hope that's clear. So I have my queue. However, I have my queue, right? But however, I have customers who have been specifically assigned to me because I belong to IT department 1, and perhaps because I'm the one who is less free, less busy, and have less number on my queue. So our system is smart enough to take cognizance of these things before routing Ralph Chinoso to this assigned users queue, right? Then the same process, I go ahead and pick Ralph from WhatsApp 2 minutes ago that have been assigned to me, right? Assigned to me, and I just go ahead and pick up Ralph, right? The same process, and I start conversation with Ralph, right? So that's the experience, how it is. Very simple. Will save the customer a lot of stress of, hurdles, trying to mistakenly get to the queue of someone who might not be able to attend to his inquiries or consign, and making routing and attend to customers very efficient. as well. I hope every business enjoy this. I hope your customers enjoy this. I hope your ratings and your star increase because of this new feature. Please let us know if you have more questions. Please let us know if you're having challenges setting it up even after this time, or you have permission challenges. We could help you, or you could go update your permissions. You could reach out to us, or your account managers. Every of our business, we do have account managers. They could guide you in helping you to update so that you could set up your AutoAssign. So I've shown the customer experience and I've shown the agent experience, how to handle this. So that's it from my side. And I'll be passing on to Gina this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ralph. I think everybody here appreciates how thorough you are with the presentation, and everybody has a better grasp, understanding of the AutoAssign feature. So before we move on to the next agenda, I have one more question for you, Ralph. So Agnes asks that if she were to create the routing criteria using issue type, would the bot automatically engage those users based off those criteria? Do you understand the question?
Awesome, I do.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, thanks, Evie. Yeah, so if you create your routing criteria, issue type routing criteria, and first of all, you can create several routing criteria. But the difference, you can create based on issue type, you can create based on department. But the difference comes to when you are creating your teams. So you select, creating your team, you select the routing criteria that you want that team to manage. Now, if you set your team routing criteria, take note, your team routing criteria to issue type, that means your bot will handle customer inquiry based on issue type. So at each time, your bot will be handling routing criteria based on the team that you set up. So if you set it for issue type, it will be automatically issue type. If you set it for department, it will be automatically department. So definitely, that's how it works.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Thank you very much, Ralph. I hope that answers your question, Agnes. So up to, I think that's the last of the questions that we have. You've already been commended on your presentation, Ralph. Just to say that again, it's been a great presentation. Thank you. So next I'll have Charles. Charles is our customer success, head of customer success. Talk to us about the benefits of this awesome new feature that eBanqo has built and added for you, our clients. Charles, the floor is yours. Charles, I think you're muted.
Okay. I think, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, thanks. So thanks everyone. Based off what Ralph and Folike has talked us through around auto-assigning and setting up our team. So I will just be touching on the benefit of auto-assign to businesses. How does it add value to businesses? How does it help businesses? So, if you understand perfectly what Ralph and Folike described, AutoAssign just basically allows you as a business to enable the system that you're using, eBanqo now, to route customers to a specific agent. And so there are several benefits of this, but I'm just going to mention about just 4 of them. And the first one is the helping you to reduce the time to resolution. So how does it help you to reduce the time to resolution? So because you have created specific issues and you have assigned those issues to the teams that you have created on the platform, right? So what the system does is just like Ralph showed us. So what the system does is it immediately transfers those customers to the specific teams that are responsible for that. So, you know, let's say the customer wants to join the queue and the customer selected, I want to chat on fraud issue or card issue. So it just transfers the customer to the next available agent within that team. So what this helps you to do, there are some users today before AutoAssign, what they do is they manually assign customers, which takes some time, which it takes some seconds in the wait time of the customer. But now in this case, the system is just automatically assigning the customer. So the customer will not have to wait for anybody to manually assign the customers. So even though you can still reassign the customer, just as Ralph mentioned before, you pick the chat up, but the system helps you save time by actually auto-assigning based on the routing criteria that you have created. Also, it kind of helps you with productivity. So before AutoAssign, before AutoAssign, your admin or the supervisor actually spends some time to manually assign customers. You look through the chat and then you assign customer to the best suited agent for the issue that the customer is trying to resolve with your team, right? So it's kind of for businesses that have a lot of chat requests, it kind of eats into your own time, spending time to manually assign customers. But now, in the advent of this AutoAssign, the system, you can focus on other things. Why the system? All you just need to do is one time, just create your team. Once you create your team, you create based on issue types or based on department. So once you create that just once, and then as many customers can get auto-assigned to these issue types or departments, however you have created it. Also, there are some businesses that use the application for sales, right? So because you have also enabled auto-assign, it probably will help you also to improve time to sale. So for example, one of the things that Ralph showed is you can assign to different departments. So let's say you as a business, you have some items that you sell and customs to the platform. So you can basically create those departments or you can create those lists and say, what would you like to chat about? And you can list them as maybe some of the services that you render today, right? And customers are, they get routed to that particular team. So for example, it could be that you want to transfer to sneakers unit, you want to transfer to shirt units. So they get routed to those specific agent, and so when they're talking to the agent, they don't need to be rerouted to another agent. They are talking to the agent that can actually help them with what they want. And the last thing I will talk about is how AutoAssign helps with your SLA. Several businesses have specific SLAs with their customers. So you have to respond to customers within this time, or you have to give customer resolution within this time. So because you don't have to spend time to auto-assign, to manually assign customers, so you have been able to improve the wait time of your customers, thereby helping you as a business to keep to time as however way you have agreed it with your customers. So if I can recap again, AutoAssign, it helps you reduce time to resolution because customers will be joining the particular team that they want to speak to within your customer service unit. Then also it helps with productivity. How it does that is it helps you as an admin, instead of manually assign before, now AutoAssign just sets up your team once, and then the system can help you assign customers automatically. Then it helps you for people that use the platform for sales. It helps you transfer customers to specific units that they want to chat with, and then they can take it up from there. And then the last one is less wait time. Less wait time means customers will not need to wait for you to manually assign. They get to the queue, they get to the appropriate team. And because they are also being assigned to the team that has the less responsibility, because the system checks, just like Ralph mentioned, the system checks before, even though it's assigned to somebody in the team, before it assigns to somebody in the team, it checks the amount of active chat. So it assigns to the person with the less active chat. And then the person with the less active chat is expected to also respond to the customer quickly. So it helps you reduce your wait time, the customer wait time, and it also helps you to keep the SLAs that you have with your customers as you use the platform. Yeah, so there are also other benefits as you have the use cases, but these are the four, because of our time, these are the four that I wanted to touch on. Thanks, Eugene.
Thank you very much, Charles. That was very precise and clear. So we're reaching the end of our webinar, and we've answered all questions. I don't think we have any question left. Unless any last questions before we go. If not, I would like to thank everyone, all our customers, our clients for joining. And if this is your first time, we look forward to making you customers and clients as well. And obviously, as we move on, we will continue to build great features that solve your pain points as our clients and improve your experience using eBanqo. Therefore, improve your response to your clients and improve to your own users, and give you better engagement and interactions with your users. On that note, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Foluke, for the great presentation. Thank you, Charles, for the benefits. It was, I think we had a good day. I think somebody wants to, someone raised their hand. Victoria, do you want, I think Victoria wants to ask something, or she's saying bye. Okay, Victoria, do you want to say something?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm sorry I'm in a very noisy environment, but I've tried to follow up this meeting from the beginning to the end.
Thank you
I
very much.
want to just commend Ralph. Ralph has been very helpful to the Hydra team. And I'm actually very glad about the experience we've had so far on eBanqo. I didn't want to interrupt, but you know, everything he's been saying is something we hear has already taught us ahead of time. What I want to suggest is that whenever you have updates, you know, you can just let us know that, oh, this is working for this particular experience. Can we, you know, upgrade to this, whatever you have on ground? You know, I'm just going to say that Ralph has been so helpful to the team. Every time I call him, he's available. It's almost like he's on speed dial. So I'm even very grateful that we are having this webinar so I can find time to tell him thank you publicly. You know, we are really grateful to have someone like Ralph on our side. And I love the work you guys have been doing from the Hydra team. We are really grateful. Thank you guys. Well done.
Thank you very much, Victoria. I really appreciate it. Well done, Ralph. All right, then. So I think that's all for now. No other comments, no other questions. So everybody, you guys have a great day and have a great week ahead of you. Bye. Thank you all for coming once again.